Well, good morning. How's everybody doing? I see some of you've already popped on and you're welcoming in the family this morning, saying hello. How's your day? I saw a brief one that said, "Oh, I'm so tired this morning." Is everybody else feeling tired today? How's it feeling? I know our weather here in South Carolina is sunny and muggy. Sunny and muggy. That is in the forecast, I think, for the rest of the summer.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump on here and say
Good
that we have a
morning.
guest in studio. He's already here.
Hey.
Do you wanna bring him in?
Give me just a second and
All
I
right.
will bring in
Mr.
our
Guest,
guest.
if you will, just hold on a half a second. Oh, he's
So
What is
this will be a first for all of us today on Second Saturdays with the First Lady. It's the first time I've ever had a guest in non-studio, but in the studio. And so let me just kick it off. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Second Saturdays with the First Lady. We actually made it to a second Saturday after a couple of months of we don't know what Saturday it's going to be. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us this morning. As everyone here knows, if you've been here before, that the way that you get to maybe win some of Bob's and Chief's stuff, we won't tell Chief. Some of their stuff is to say, "Hey, I'm here," commenting on our show, coming in and being a part of all of the comments. And I'm getting lots of hand signals from Bob over there.
they're gentle suggestions.
Yeah,
Of, hey, let's bring our guest on.
All right. So this month we are honoring men. It is Men's Mental Health Month and it is Father's Day tomorrow. And so in honor of the men, we have a show full of men. And so our guest, our very first ever guest in studio and on the Second Saturdays with the First Lady show is none other than, do we have a drum roll?
Oh, that's my favorite drum roll. Thank you very much. Just for that, I hope you give away more of Bob's stuff, more of Chief's stuff. I hope you give everything away.
I know. Just
Yes.
for that, I should do it for you. Good morning. Are you morning, afternoon? What time zone are you in, Mr. Fabian?
Cockeysville, Maryland. Live Cockeysville, Maryland, right next to the Humidor. I'm having a Aganorsa event all day long. We got specials. We're actually raffling off a pizza oven. So yeah, it's gonna be good. But yeah, I had to take some time out because when the First Lady calls, you have to be here. You have to be here. So I am honored and blessed to be on the show.
I am honored and blessed. I want to welcome you here. Listen, the boys have gotten this new soundboard and they have been playing with it a little bit this morning. And so there is
I'm on a boat.
There's no telling what's going to happen throughout our show.
We do have the Fabian button. Make sure
yes, we are in the family of the BTCG channel and we are family friendly, especially on a Saturday when kids are probably running around, maybe some grandkids are hanging out, no telling. All right, so Men's Mental Health Month, Father's Day. We are talking today about men. Do we have some men in the house today?
Hello. We do. There's plenty of people in the comments.
right here.
My Cigar Guy's not doing a good job running the show by putting comments up on the screen at all.
Gosh, there's too many buttons to push.
But we do. I
sakes.
can see Michael Zakovic, Fireborn, Peter Giannis, Texas Tour, Cigar Pop. We do have a lady in Miss Diana Burns. She's in here with us. We do. We've got a whole crowd of people in here right now.
Good deal. Well, good morning to you. Good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I think we're in the same time zone, Mr. Fabian. All right. So we are talking today.
Yeah, Maryland is on the East Coast.
Yes, I realize that.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Mike Z? What's going on, man? And then I got Mac.
Some legends. Go ahead. You just talk and I'll talk too. We're good.
Wait, there's Mac, and Mac is one of the best fathers around. And the only reason why he is because one of his sons is my biggest fan. So
biggest fan ever.
Yes, that's
Shout
right.
out to Sam.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
All right. So we are highlighting the legends who built the cigar industry. And you might think I'm thinking like Jose Orlando Padron or Carlos Fuente Sr., but no, 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 no. I'm talking about the legends that are in my studio today. We have Fabian, the legend, the myth, the man. We have Bob, the cigar guy, the legend, the myth, the man. And we have Chief. Chief
Who?
in the leaves, chief of the leaves, chief
Hey,
charge of all
only
of
English Premier League champion
production.
winners are allowed to clip.
The man, the myth, the legend. All right, we have legends of the cigar industry here today. We have some fathers and brothers. Today, we're going to focus on everything men in the cigar industry because we celebrate you this month. And so, whether you have recently picked up a cigar and you are new to the industry, whether you have been in the industry, how long you been in the industry, Fabian?
I've been in the industry. I started in March of 2000.
All right, so
So
25
only a quarter of a
years.
century.
25 years. So whether
Yep.
you've been here 25 years or 25 minutes, this show is for you. Not only is it for you, it is for your significant other. If you have someone who is cigar adjacent, who you would like to do some introductions like, hey, this is an easy way. Let's sit together for an hour and watch this live stream, YouTube, Facebook, chatty lady. Y'all come on, grab a soda, grab a drink, grab a cigar if you're a smoker. Come on and sit down and kick up a few with us, and hopefully you'll be entertained, but hopefully you'll also learn some stuff. So today, talking to some of the pioneers and personalities and present day legends. All of you in virtual land, whoever you are, whether you've been smoking recently or you're smoking today, welcome in. Today, I want us to be thinking about and getting ready to post some comments on some of the ways that you identify as a man. Now, ladies, I'm not going to exclude you because you guys probably
How do you identify, Fabian?
Men.
Today I identify as a cigar smoker. Tomorrow I'm going to identify as something else, but I don't know yet. It just happens on whatever side of bed I get up. But yeah.
Okay, there you go.
But so let me just say one quick little thing.
Please do.
Whether you're a cigar smoker or you're married to a cigar smoker or you're dating a cigar smoker or you're the side piece of a cigar smoker, there's a very, very important thing that should be understood. And like I said, I've been in the industry for 25 years. And the one thing that I see is a couple that smokes together tends to stay together. And that's a very big, like thought, but it's very, very easy if you grind it down to the principle of what is the key of being in a relationship for a long time. First lady, you've been with Bob the cigar guy for a couple decades. You can tell us what it is, but I can already imagine that one of the big things is communication. And when
I fully am able to say, Bob, you stink.
Yeah, see, exactly. So so when you cut and light a cigar, you're gonna be there in that spot for a half hour, an hour. You're gonna enjoy it. And then if your significant other is with you, then it kind of, in a sense, forces you to either put in headphones, or have a conversation. And the more conversations you have, the easier the relationship is, and whatnot. So you may not want to smoke, but supporting your significant other that smokes, partake in that time, and you will see your relationship flower and have a great time and whatnot. I mean, I've noticed it in my second relationship. So yeah,
you and I have a relationship bonding moment together when you were here in the studio live, and I let you know, like, I'm just not a cigar smoker. And you were like, well, why? And I told you, like, I don't like the way it tastes. And you handed me a cigar and you were like, well, put this one in your mouth and see what you think. Do you remember which cigar that was? It was a sweet tipped.
Yes. It was the Aganorsa sweet tip cigar. It was the new Cuba Superior.
There you go.
Yep.
And so I did not light it up and I did not smoke it. But while I let it sit there, it was, it didn't taste bad. So now we've got that.
There we go.
And
There
maybe
we go.
that's all you do. If you're not a cigar smoker, maybe you just get one of those sweet tipped ones and you sit there and you look like it.
Yep. That's right.
All right. So I want you three gentlemen to be thinking about, like, who are the influential men in the cigar industry that you have either had contact with or you'd like to have contact with. Who are those people? So I want the three of you to take some turns in answering my questions.
Mine's
today.
Fabian. I call it. Mine's Fabian.
Okay. All
Mine's
right.
Bob and Steven.
Yeah.
We weren't here a quarter of a century ago, so you got to find somebody older than that.
So we have, I mean, like, there are some bigger names that are associated with the cigar industry. So if you guys had to name off, like, and we're going with men today, so we're going to stick with the men gender. Who are the big names of people, like, first off that pop to your head and you're like, oh, this is a name that I'm familiar with? What would those be?
Go for it, Bob.
I'm sitting here. I'm drowning over here. Chief has had to take the keyboard away from me and try to do these wheels of death. And I'm trying to figure out how, when he's not here, am I going to do this? And so I'm barely paying attention, to be honest, except for the shade of that I stink.
So everyone out there in computer land, I'm stealing
really
a phrase from Phil Robertson, who recently passed away.
Happy.
In computer land, I want you guys to be thinking about, like, who is it that's influential to you in the cigar industry? Maybe it's someone directly involved with the cigar industry, but maybe it's a friend or a battle buddy or a mentor that you have a story about. I want you guys to be thinking about that and posting those in the comments, letting us know. We want to know your stories.
To the viewers, that's what you're posting that to, is we want to see what the viewers have to say, right?
Well, I mean, people in computer land nice, and I was giving an homage to Phil Robertson.
As silly as it was for me to say, just jump on and say, oh, I take Fabian first. Like, no, Fabian, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when he was on the show, right?
Absolutely.
When he was here in the studio. All of what they see currently, what they saw a couple weeks ago, what they see every week when they tune in for Bob's shows or Bob's videos, his podcast, my show, your show here, all of that is directly attributed back to Fabian. And there's been a lot that has come along the way since Fabian, but there wouldn't have been a chance that we have now if it wasn't for Fabian taking the shot on us to come to an event, to come hang out, and then get our foot in the door with our biggest, and most cherished sponsor, because they've paid for everything. If we're keeping it a buck.
So
right?
If we're being honest, Fabian, thank you.
So Fabian,
thank you
for sure,
Saturdays with the first lady.
Absolutely, no, it's 100%.
Because it all rolls downhill, and I'm at the bottom of the totem pole.
Steven, you're very generous and amazing. You're humble and this, not whatever. But if Bob and you didn't have the dream or the thought of doing what you're doing now, I would never have found you.
Right.
So you can praise me all you want, but the praise bounces. I'll take a little bit of it, but the majority of it bounces right off of me and goes back to you guys, because you guys had the idea. You guys are doing the shows. I'm not doing the shows. Yeah, I opened the door and I introduced you to the Drew Estate, and that Drew Estate is a big supporter of you guys and other manufacturers and whatnot. But if you weren't doing what you're doing, there wouldn't have been any of that stuff. So lots of praise to you guys.
Well,
and I feel like you guys are like my sons, because as
Father's Day,
you guys have
tomorrow.
grown, as you've grown, I'm like, oh, look at, I remember when they had like two followers. Bob had 2 followers. It was the first lady and Steven. I remember that day.
That was last week.
No, and it transcends because, not only do we have our connection with Drew Estate, now we have a full-fledged, sponsorship through Aganorsa as well. So you continue to give. You give through your past with Drew Estate, but you're also giving through your present with Aganorsa.
Absolutely.
You blessed us with your presence a couple weeks ago here in the studio and come hung out with us with Dave, and It was a great show. Really enjoyed having you on. It's our most watched show of the year so far. So
Yeah, and I don't know what you guys did to Dave, but Dave left us the next week. So, you know,
it
I'm
was
kind
the
of bitter
sour
at you guys
candy.
about that. But
It
yeah.
was the sour candy. You
It
can
was the
blame
death
Bob.
balls.
I think we were sad to see Dave.
I got to tell you though, I know we're talking about men, but Fabian brought up a good point that, you know, with the drive and everything, and if the first lady had not said over and over and over again at Save the Leaf, you ought to do this video thing with Al Peter, we would have never gone this way, because this was never
Me and Al,
something.
we're hanging out.
So we get to blame her whenever she fusses about
for
cigar
everything.
smoke.
Yeah.
She calls us stinky,
Maybe
but
so.
it's really her.
Yeah,
Also,
it's really
before
me.
before you go any farther, we do want to make sure that everybody who's watching is commenting, because you do give away stuff. Do you want to talk about what you're going to give away real quick?
Yes, I have a whole little smorgasbord of stuff here that I'm going to be giving away today that I love doing this part of my show. I love to give away all of the stuff. And this was something that people, I mean, in all honesty, the people love it when I give your stuff away. And I love it too, because you're like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But I also like hitting people like Fabian up when they come to the shop.
What's that sitting right in front of you, First Lady?
I like to give stuff away on my show. And since I'm here and I'm asking you questions, hey, don't you want to give stuff away too? And so, yeah, they do. And so we have this beautiful, and I'm going to tell you guys, I have one of these in my kitchen and I use it. It is in contention. It's a contender because it's a big old coffee cup with my Steve Saka.
So you're going to give away
coffee mug.
You're going to actually give away your coffee cup from inside the house, right?
No.
I'm actually giving away this coffee cup because my coffee cup has been used. I'm not going to say it hasn't.
Some people pay extra for that.
This coffee cup is full of
Wrong channel
cigars. cigars. And
Hey,
more
you can
cigars.
keep the cigars. I want the slightly used coffee mug.
I have the slightly. It has been slightly used. It is actually. It is on the top of one of my favorites. I
can use the coffee mug for you, Fabian, and send it back to you if you need.
And then all sorts of other little goodies. You know, I like to go big or go home, and I'm already home, so I might as well go big because I ain't got nowhere else to go.
Okay, well here I'll do you guys a solid. So here I'm doing an event here, and we got some goods that we're giving away, but you're gonna let me know who wins and stuff, and I will give away one of these other Aganorsa ashtrays. I just need the address. So Aganorsa ashtray, there you go. I'm gonna give away one of those. And then I will also give away one of these coffee mugs. But before I give it away, I will make sure that I drink coffee out of it and I won't clean it. So you'll know it's slightly used. Okay.
Look, Fabian, they'll have matching cups and mugs. That'll be so cute. Happy Father's Day.
You're gonna get a slightly once used coffee mug with coffee one time. You're gonna get that, and then also a brand new ashtray that is not used. So
that's awesome.
You'll just give me the address and I will mail them out next week when I'm back in the office on Tuesday.
We will do that. So this is the way people win today. Number one, they have to be a part of the show. And so we ask you to comment. We ask you to interact with your fellow viewers, as Stephen likes to call them. But you're going to interact with us, and you have to be here live when it comes time for me to spin the spinny wheel of all of your names who've commented. You have to be here live in order to win Bob's stuff. You also have to send us your mailing address, and in order to do that, you're going to email rgfinley70@gmail.com. So if you are today's lucky participant and winner, you will need to make sure that you send your mailing address to rgfinley70@gmail.com. Not only that, but you got to be in the continental United States to not have to pay shipping. If you happen to be in some other part of our non-continental US and you win, you will need to cover the actual shipping costs.
And you must be 21.
And yes, you must be 21 or older.
I want to say Diana Burns made it to the show before Dan Burns did. Shame on you, Dan Burns.
Welcome. All right. So listen, it is also Men's Mental Health Month. And so we are looking at the cigar industry and the cigar world as how does it support you men folk with your mental health. There, I would imagine it's more than just sitting around and smoking. It's more than just about the smoke. So tell me what keeps you gentlemen in cigars?
Well, I work in the cigar industry, so I have to be. I'm stuck in the cigar industry.
Okay, so if you didn't work in the cigar industry, do you think you'd still be a cigar smoker?
Well, I'll answer that with when I was working at Disneyland before I got in the tobacco industry. If you would have told me that you're going to spend 25 years in the tobacco industry, I would have said you are completely nuts, because I had never smoked a cigar. I actually smoked my very first cigar 2 days before I got in the cigar industry, and the guy cut one end, light the other, and goes, "Okay, just puff on it, and that's how you smoke a cigar."
Oh,
So the first 6 months, if someone gave me a pre-cut cigar, I had a 50-50 chance of lighting the wrong end. So yeah,
I gotcha.
yeah.
So what is it? What is it from 2 days before? Like, what actually got you into the cigar industry?
So it's a funny story, because my college roommate was a French exchange student. So I was a freshman, he was a senior. And once he retired, he went back to do his military civil service, like any good Frenchman. After graduating from college, they have to do 18 months of civil service. And then he comes back and he opens up a cigar distribution in California. And then he falls in love with a French girl. They move to Northern California. They tried to live there for a year and a half. She hated it. They tried to live in Southern California for 2 years, and she hated it. And finally, after 3.5 years, she goes, "I'm going back to Paris. So we're either getting divorced or you're coming back with me." And love prevailed, which is ironic because 5 years later they got divorced. But he goes
Oh
back. He
no.
goes back to Paris with her, and on his way out, he tells me, "Hey, I spoke to the guys at Drew Estate. I spoke to the guys at Zycar. They want to hire you as their sales rep." It was my best friend. I didn't know he was going to steer me wrong. Right now, needless to say, I got the job. He never spoke to both of those companies, so I had to prove myself from day one, and I must have proved myself well enough, because I'm still in the industry 25 years later.
There you
But
go.
here's the thing, right? The cigar aspect, I've learned to enjoy cigars. I mean, no one grows up understanding what tobacco tastes like unless you're working on a tobacco farm. So you have to understand what tobacco tastes like. But what I really enjoy about the cigar industry is the relationships and the friendships that have come from it. Like a friendship with you and the whole Finley clan. I mean, people like that. There's a lot of stores that I've known for 20 some years, and like for this instant, I'm in the Humidor in Cockeysville, Maryland, and we're doing an event, all day event, and I could be home. I don't have to travel anymore. I travel as much or as little, but it's all of these friends that are actually, buy my cigars, so that's good. But I support the people who supported me, and the biggest thing I'll never forget is I don't forget the people that helped me get me to where I am, and
Yeah, I
all
think
those.
one of the things that I really appreciate about kind of being on the fringe of cigars is that, like, I don't have a habit or a ritual or a tradition that stems around cigars, other than that I love I love some people who smoke cigars. And so, like, knowing that the cigar industry is more than just about a cigar, it really is about connection.
Yeah.
And it's really about how you meet people that you never ever would have met had you not been joined together by some sort of cigar event or a cigar smoker. And so one of the things that I like to tell people who are kind of on the fringe of cigar smoking is that, like, if you allow yourself to have an open mind, you will meet people that you absolutely never would have met had it not been for cigars. But then not only meeting the people, but building this like support community of people. uh, It's kind of neat because you can go in, and even whether you sit in a cigar lounge for an hour or you sit there for days and days and it becomes your favorite spot to go, you make connections with people. You've just really opened yourself up to this whole new aspect of who other people are. I love that about the cigar industry.
And the majority of the people in this industry are happy. You know, so there's not
I
that
would
many
agree with you.
there's not that many negative people other than that one guy who wants a special discount on the boxes he buys extra big and he wants a discount. But other than that, you can talk him off a ledge. But yeah, the majority of the people who are smoking cigars on an everyday basis are on the happier mood. So it's a good group of people to run into, and the connections and the friendships, even more important than the friendships, the connections that you can make in cigar stores. Because
Yeah.
you could be whoever, but you're sitting next to a doctor, you're sitting next to a trash guy, an electrician, a lawyer, and then like when your house there's something wrong with the plumbing, you're like, oh wait, let me call Todd. Todd's my buddy that hangs out, and Todd is going to come and fix it and probably give you a deal instead of calling some random plumber, right? So the people that you meet in cigar stores, it's amazing,
It
amazing.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And so you and I kind of talked about that when you were here, and I said, what's it like being a celebrity in the cigar industry? And you're like,
Uh,
oh
I'm
no,
just
I'm
a
not a
guy. I'm just a
I'm
guy.
just a guy. But you're not just a guy. I mean, if anybody in the cigar industry or who smokes, they know who you are and where you started. And you have some pretty deep, big history in the cigar world. What is it like when you're sitting in the cigar lounge? And this question is for all three of you, because you're all some sort of, whether you're media in the cigar industry, you're smokers in the cigar industries, or you are a maker in the cigar industry. Like, what is it like for you guys to just go to a cigar lounge and smoke a cigar? And I posit to you in two ways: when people recognize who you are, and when people don't know who you are.
I like it when people don't know who I am. I'm just regular Fabian, and I like talking about topics that I'm not really familiar with, and learning with these people. I mean, the problem is when someone recognizes you, they kind of hold you to a higher standard and whatnot. And I'm the same for the last 25 years. I've always put my pants on the same way. It's the right leg first and then the left leg, and I haven't changed. Now, I've been in front of the camera. I've been in front of people in cigar stores, and that's the job that I accepted and I do. But I've never forgotten, like I said, like the people who helped me get there. Right? I mean, if it wasn't for all these store owners that opened up their doors and want me to come do events and give me the opportunity to talk to their smokers, I wouldn't be anybody else, and that's that. The problem is in this industry, in the tobacco industry, there's a lot of egos, and there's a lot of story. I mean, the whole industry is a story, and it's not that none of the stories are true. All the stories are true, but sometimes there's an inch of truth, and sometimes there's a mile of
Oh,
truth.
so you mean
And,
like
and
how big was that fish that you caught the other day?
exactly, yeah, you ended up catching a fish, but I mean, when every time you tell the story, it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you did catch a fish, right? So,
But let me ask you, like, is there a part of you as a man that just enjoys going and telling stories and doing the fish story, like it was this big, but now it's like really this big? Like, what part of the cigar lounge experience do you want other people to like take away from? Because I know when I go to a cigar lounge, I'm not a smoker, but I sit there with a lot of folks who are smoking, but there's also people who aren't. Like, what would you want the fringe folks to be like? What do you want them to be open to so that they take away from the cigar lounge experience? Because telling stories has to be one of them, I would think.
yeah, I mean, I got a couple good stories, and I mean, I keep telling them over and over and over. So, I mean, that's cool. But at the end of the day, what I want them to take out of it is that's just another guy. He's just same as in the same category as everyone else, and he just happens to be, the face of brand X and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if no one smoked Aganorsa cigars, I wouldn't be going around telling stories. So as much as they appreciate my storytelling or me visiting them or whatnot, I appreciate them more for actually smoking Aganorsa cigars, because without the Michael Z's of the world that smoke 18 Aganorsa cigars a day, I wouldn't be
Shout
doing
out
what I'm
Michael
doing, right?
Z.
Yeah.
So how would you say, all right, all three of you, because I want you three to really pipe in here. How do you see cigars supporting connections in your own personal life? How do they support your connections?
I mean, smoking cigars, being able to go to lounges, especially or events, puts you in front of people that maybe you'd never be able to meet before. One of the things that's really cool about the events and us being here on YouTube and Facebook and whatnot is we have a lot of time to. But we do this every week, right? Or I do it every week with Chief Talk. Bob Cigar does it every week with all his videos. There's a lot of people who watch the videos who we've never met in real life, and so sometimes events get to it comes near their area. Like, right, Fabian was here in studio 2 weeks ago in South Carolina. He was just over in Arizona. He's up in Maryland now. He's had the opportunity. Maybe one of our viewers, or was in that area, and they came to an event and were like, "Hey, I saw you on Bob the Cigar Guy's, channel last week," and it gives you an opportunity to sit down and just be in this brotherhood. One of the things that I've always talked about is, cigars are being the greatest equalizer, where, I tell the story of sitting at a shop in Florida and he offers me a cigar, Aladino Corojo, great cigar. Love the cigar. First time I'd ever smoked it. But come to find out, this dude, after sitting and talking with him for a couple hours and not really knowing who he was and being really, I didn't care to know who he was. Come to find out he's like a huge, shareholder in the Orlando Magic. I would have never had a chance to have ever met this person and sat down and smoked with him if it wasn't for cigars. And so that's the camaraderie, a lot of people want to say it's the good boy. But
how do they support your own personal connections? Like you have,
well,
and I'll bring it up. Like, you have a friend that's local that you guys.
Yeah, every week I go over to my buddy Jamie's house. On Wednesday nights we hang out for a few hours and we smoke and we catch up on the week, what's happened, and we talk about stuff that's coming up. Like him and his wife, they have 2 granddaughters, and they're always over and they're doing a bunch of fun stuff. But last week, for the whole entire week, they went down to the beach in their camper and they stayed down there. So I got to hear, how they talked about that. It's just a nice sense of community that that's come through. I don't need cigars to have a relationship with Jamie, but there are other people that when I go out to events, when there are local events in town, the only time I ever see them is at those events. And so it's nice to catch up with them, over cigars. It was the cigars that brought us together.
Yeah. Because, we are talking about Men's Mental Health Month this month. And I would be remiss to say, okay, so ladies, and this is just to the ladies of men who smoke cigars. Like, I think even in general, ladies of men who don't smoke cigars, men need men. I think,
for sure, 100%.
I think that we forget, like, I know for me, my girlfriends and we promote that, like, oh, go have a girls' weekend. It's the ladies' weekend and everybody's, the get together and all this stuff. And we promote women having girlfriends and friendship times, but we really kind of forget that men need men. And this is a space. Because this is something that we, me, you, Stephen, and Bob have talked about, is like, what's it feel like when I encroach upon your cigar time? Because I didn't always go with you guys to events, and I didn't always go with you guys to barn smokers. And so taking me along with you had to be some sort of like, oh, man. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, men need men, and this is a space, I think, traditionally, or at least that we think traditionally, that would be kind of your sacred space.
Right.
What do you think about that?
It's kind of it's like a culture thing. The cigar smoking experience is a culture thing, and you can be a cigar smoker and not be in the culture. I think you're missing out a ton if you're not participating in the culture by going to events or going to your local humidor, your local lounge, stuff like that. Because it's like, if cigars is something that I care about, and I loved having that time with cigars and smoking cigars. It doesn't have to be about the nuances of cigars, about, oh, I'm getting, the backside of, peated earth on the, it's not like that, but it's like hey, I smoked this, last week and I thought it was really good. Have you smoked it yet? And then that person can turn around and say, no, I haven't smoked that. What did you get out of it? It's like, oh, it's kind of a creamy, it reminds me of a lot like an Aganorsa New Cuba Superior. It's like, oh, I love that cigar. So I'm going to smoke. I want to go try to find that cigar as well.
So viewers out there, what is it, men especially, what is it about cigar smoking that like helps you with your own personal connections? Because and think kind of mental health wise. And Fabian, you had said like a majority of people that smoke cigars are at the lounge, like they're happy. And I would say if they aren't happy when they walk in because they've had a rough day or they've gotten some bad news, or maybe they're feeling a little depressed, maybe they're feeling some anxiety, and they go into the lounge and they take the time to find something that they want to smoke, and then they sit down and they light it. Like there's got to be, and I look at it from a mental health perspective because I'm a mental health counselor. But like I look at that and I go, okay, when I'm talking to someone in session who's feeling depressed or feeling anxiety or feeling just the pressure of work that day, like one of the things that we do is we do deep breathing. And not that I'm saying we're going to do deep breathing with the
cigars.
But you know, there is something mechanical in the brain that happens when you slow down. And when you take time to distract yourself from what it is that's bothering you, or that might be, you know, something that is keeping you in this state of anxiety or depression. And I see that, you know, mental health wise, I go, this is a healthy coping skill. Not maybe healthy from some other person's standpoint who's like, well, it's tobacco. Okay. So we're not even looking at it from that. But from a mental health perspective, when you sit down and you slow your brain down and you take time to just breathe and relax and focus on something other than the problem, this is a healthy coping skill. And I don't know how many people promote it as that, but maybe I'm the first one, but I'm here to say.
Yes, I think that's a good question for Fabian is, you know, with you know, he's at this event all day, right? He's at an all day event. Fabian, is there a point during the day where you feel like you're going to be able to just kind of sit down and relax and you have that mental coping? Like, is there something that you try to work into an event, or do you feel like, you know, you get there and you work and you work and work and you just don't have time to sit back and relax? How does that work for you working an event?
The funny thing is you guys know Terrence, and Terrence, you know, Terrence and I run the whole business at Aganorsa, and Terrence had a certain picture of me because before I joined Aganorsa, I was the Drew State guy, this and that, whatever, and I was always on. So, oh, he must be a very big, you know, very big personality. He loves people, this and that, whatever. That's part of my job. When I'm away from it, like Terrence calls it, I'm the biggest introvert extrovert. My time that I look forward to is I could be on an event, like you said, the event here is 6 hours today. I'm looking at, okay, the event ends at 5, then I got an hour drive to my hotel. I'm looking forward to 7 p.m. because that's when I'm in my hotel room, or if I'm in Miami, that's when I'm at my house. I got peace and quiet. I can relax. And I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying cigars during the event. I am, but the cigar that I enjoy the most is usually the last cigar of the day when I'm by myself or at home with my wife.
Your hookah.
And you know, we just let life go by. One of the cool things I like to say is, you know, in this environment right now that's very unfortunate, where the U.S. is very divided. Not to bring politics into it, it doesn't really matter which side you're on, but it's very divided. When you walk into a cigar store, you can see 2 guys, you could see 40 guys, and they're all talking, and they could have the perspective or different perspective, and they could be on opposite political genres, and they discuss things. They discuss things in a civil way. I've never, maybe it's happened, but not when I've ever seen it. Is you can have a very constructive a conversation with people in a civil way, and those 2 people outside of the cigar store could be like throwing blows in the parking lot somewhere because they're not seeing eye to eye. But the cigar is like the great equalizer. Everyone's sitting down, they're all enjoying a cigar. It doesn't really matter what cigar it is, and you can bounce ideas off of each other. All our politicians, the majority of our politicians smoke cigars, but the problem is they smoke cigars by themselves. If they were going to smoke cigars and share cigars with each other, maybe they can get some of these bills and laws passed a lot faster and whatnot.
Over a cigar.
Over a cigar, yeah,
Yeah.
over a couple cigars. I mean, it's just weird. It's weird. I think we need more cigars in
In
society
politics,
because
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Well,
I love that you bring that up because one of the things I think that separates my show from a lot of other cigar shows is I'm not necessarily promoting a cigar or smoking cigars. I am actually promoting the cigar lifestyle, and that's the people that are in it. And I want one of the things, and it took me a while really to figure this out. The people of the cigar industry, cigar smokers, cigar sales reps, cigar makers and manufacturers, like the people of this industry are what make it. Yes, you have the cigars, you have to, or it wouldn't be a cigar lifestyle. But what I really want to promote to people who are cigar adjacent and to the people who love people who smoke cigars is you don't have to smoke cigars to be a part of the industry. You can come as you are. You don't need to feel pressured to smoke a cigar. You might, somebody might want you to try it, and you're certainly welcome to if you want to, but just enjoy the people of it. Come and sit and watch. Like, I'm a big people watcher. I love to watch people and make up stories in my mind about what they're doing, what they're saying, why they're there. I think it's hilarious, but just come sit and watch. Be a part of something that's bigger than you. And eventually, I think that you will find someone there is just like you.
Well, tobacco is naturally peaceful, right? There's very little chaos when it comes to anything cigar smoking related. There's chaos in the cigar industry. There's chaos that abounds around, like, warehouses catching on fire, or tariffs, or political things, or whatever, that has to do with that. But when it comes to actually sitting and smoking, you look at cultures who based a lot of their discussions around smoking, right? One of the things that I heard all the time as a kid was like, it's time to pass the peace pipe, right? And whatever was in the peace pipe, I don't know, we'll never know. We weren't sitting there, but a lot of time, you have the Americas that had a lot of tobacco,
yeah,
and then other cultures that sit down. And Fabian's absolutely right. I think they need to make a building in the Capitol where, if you're going to try to pass some of these, you're making infrastructure for a bill or something like that, why don't we go to the smoke lounge? Because tobacco is like, as much as big tobacco is cigarettes and dips and things like that, and how that gets demonized. It's not the tobacco aspect that's really getting the flack. It's all of the additives and preservatives and things that are added into it. With cigars, they're just kind of lumped into it because they're also tobacco. People who are in the culture. Go ahead, Fabian.
I'm gonna add a little bit to what you said, First Lady. I was in Arizona last week, and in Arizona, there's a whole bunch of stores that are opening up as cigar bars. Okay, so right off the bat, you have a whole bunch of guys that are like, "Yeah, all right, cigar bar," but the cigar bars are more for the women, and I'll tell you why. Because what happens is, first of all the newer cigar bars, the air filtration system is phenomenal. You could be in a cigar bar for an hour and a half, and then your hair doesn't smell like smoke, your clothes doesn't smell like smoke, because the air circulation is very, very big. And every single new cigar bar, their numbers are going through the roof. And the reason being is, now the guy who smokes cigars can bring his wife. The wife usually, or girlfriend usually, loves wine, so then they're getting a couple glasses of wine, and then as the woman's, oh, we'll get this bottle of wine, honey, go ahead and pick out whatever cigars you want. And now it's not like, oh wait, I wish I could buy a box of cigars, but I don't want my old lady to find out how much I spent. Now they're spending together, and you know
That's
what
the
I mean.
encouragement part.
It's great. Now Arizona, you're starting, it's day one of triple digit temperature, and they're gonna have triple digits for the next 4 months. So yeah, you need to find air conditioned places to go smoke cigars. But all those cigar bars, especially, I encourage all you guys out there with your significant others to go find, where some states cigar bars are illegal, right? Because you can't mix alcohol and tobacco in some states. But in some states that have cigar bars, don't just think that it's going to be a hangout for the guys that night. Yeah, go have that, but include your significant other, because you never know, she's gonna love the old fashioned, or the new cab or whatever. And then when you're drinking, you're having a good time. She doesn't come home smelling like an ashtray, and she doesn't necessarily really care as much of how many cigars you bought or how expensive that cigar was. And that's cool. It goes back to bringing your significant other into the cigar lifestyle, like you were talking about.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that, so my show, of course, I'm giving away cigar stuff, right? I'm not really focusing on my giveaway on the periphery. This is really for the cigar smoker. But what I want is for the cigar smokers who are watching this show, is for them to bring their significant other and say, hey, let's sit down. I want you to watch this show with me. It's an hour ish. It's an hour. It's not going to take away that much from our day. It's one time a month. Like, let's sit down. Because I want you to see that me going to a cigar lounge or me smoking my cigars is more than just this cigar. It is more than me just sitting outside smoking something. It really is me time. It is what I enjoy doing. It is where I can focus on maybe relaxing or letting go of something that's bothering me. And sometimes, let's be honest, when you're in a relationship with someone, it's good to have separate interests. It is good to have separate interests. It's good to have some away time. And so if you think about it, as a mediator or a counselor, and I say, okay, when we're doing warfare training, when we're talking about how to argue with a couple, one of the things that is part of that is, okay, when you get to a point when neither one of you are listening, or you're both yelling, or one person is beginning to raise their tone, is to say, okay, take time apart and then come back together when you don't feel so antagonistic. And this is a great break time for whoever in the relationship smokes a cigar. Go out and smoke a cigar. Take some time. Go sit down by yourself or with your friends and get away from the subject, so that when we come back together, then we can talk. We can maybe have a little bit more insight because I've taken time away from the heightened part of our argument. And so, I sit back and I go like, hey, your significant other, the non-smoker, needs to know that this is a good time for you to take a break. You need a break. We all need a break.
Dan brings up a good point too, Dan. If you're going to invite your partner or your wife, don't bring your side piece. Don't bring both of them. Yeah,
how about we just don't have a side piece? How about we go there?
Oh, that takes all the fun out of it.
No side pieces.
Now, speaking of giving stuff away, we are getting to your last 10 minutes.
We sure are. And I have so this is where I want the viewers to be ready with their comments. I want you guys to tell us your legacy moments. I would imagine you all have some sort of legacy moment.
What's a legacy moment?
So a really big memory that really stands out for you, that was life-changing, life-shaking, mindset shifting.
So core memory.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say core memory. I want you to tell us, like, who is it maybe that shaped your cigar journey? Tell us, what is your favorite cigar memory with a dad, a grandfather, a mentor, or a friend? I know one thing that the cigar industry does, and is they support Cigars for Warriors. Maybe your first cigar was overseas because Cigars for Warriors sent this pack and they were like, hey, if you want a cigar, I don't know how they hand them out. Maybe that was your first introduction to a cigar.
All right. So I got a cool little story. I got to go in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to tell you this. My cigar legacy had nothing to do with cigars, but it's a cigar legacy. Okay. And this is it. I was introduced to the cigar industry when I was 3 years old, and from 3, 4, 5. So I was born in Switzerland, in Geneva. Born in Zurich, but I lived in Geneva. And in Geneva, downtown Geneva, there's the original Davidoff of Geneva. Davidoff is a very well-known brand all over the world. The tobacco actually is a very small part of the whole Davidoff lifestyle, with the perfume and the bags and the ties and leather goods and all that stuff. But my dad traveled a lot for work. And once a month, we had a thing, and I remember, I don't know if I was 3, 4, or 5, my first memory, but I know for a fact I was 3, 4, and 5. So once a month, we would take the bus down to the center of town in Geneva, and right next to Davidoff in Geneva is a big 3-story toy store. And the deal was, we would go to the toy store, he would buy me a little toy, and then we would go to the cigar store, and my dad would buy his little toy, a box of cigars. He would smoke a cigar, and I would play in the corner with my little toy. And if I behaved, none other than Zeno Davidoff, yes, the one who started, Zeno Davidoff, was in the store at that time. He would take me for ice cream. So we go to the store, we buy my little toy. I'm in the corner. My dad buys a box of cigars. He opens it up. He smokes a cigar, and what shaped me was Zeno Davidoff, always really, really well dressed in a suit with cardigan with a vest and everything like that. And he would sit down, talk to my dad and a couple other people. And every single time someone came into the store, he would always say, "Hello, how can I help you? Is there anything I can help you with? What are you looking for?" And that was the start of, in a sense, customer service that is ingrained in me. Now,
That's
10
cool.
years at Drew Estate will pound more customer service on you. But the whole thing is, now the funny story, the funny aspect to it is, and not too many people know, is after the hour that my dad smoked a cigar and I behaved, Zeno would then go, "Okay, all right, let's go get ice cream." So we would walk down the corner to the little ice cream stand, and Zeno's favorite ice cream flavor was pistachio. So for 3 years, once a month for 3 years, he would get himself a pistachio ice cream, and he would get me a pistachio ice cream. To this day, I don't like pistachios, and I was always bummed that he never asked me what flavor I wanted. And if he would have asked me, I would have said chocolate, right? But
Butter
that,
pecan in the house over here.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's how I started. The whole cigar lifestyle started. No, who would have known that, I'd be in the tobacco industry for 25 years, and there's people who worked for Davidoff for many, many years. Only very few people know too much about Zeno, because he was a very personal person that kept everything to himself. He built this huge conglomerate. The guys that really, really know Zeno and stories are shocked that this little guy from Drew Estate, now Aganorsa, is like, "Oh yeah, I had pistachio ice cream with Zeno," and they're like, "What? Zeno's favorite ice cream flavor was pistachio? Oh my God, that no one knows about that." I'm like, "Yeah, he forced me pistachio ice cream. I mean, yeah, whatever." So yeah, so that's my story
That's cool.
on what formed me. And that was even way before I even smoked a cigar. But yeah.
I will tell you, like, my introduction to just tobacco, the thing that, and it wasn't cigars. My grandfather would smoke the brown cigarettes. I don't even know what they're called. But
Weed marijuana.
no. But my grandfather worked in the
Hashish.
sugarcane industry in South Florida and was an integral part of building the sugarcane industry there. And I can remember as a little girl going and visiting with him, and he would always smoke whatever that cigarette is. And so my favorite smell in the whole wide world is the smell of the first lit cigarette with a Zippo lighter. It's a smell that you can't replicate anywhere. Some people like the smell of gasoline. I like the smell of a first lit cigarette with a Zippo lighter, because it is my core memory, and that's my kind of connection with tobacco. What has everybody else been saying? What are the legacy moments from our viewers?
I'm so far away from the computer, I can't read everything. I can see the comments, but I'm behind Bob, and so I'm just kind of trying to put some of them up on the screen. So I can't really see all. I know Dan Burns.
One of the things, while you're trying to find some of the comments.
There you go. Because Fabian said he has to go soon.
Oh yes. So and I just lost track of what I was saying. Oh, here it is. So one of the things, Fabian, that you made me think of, and we'll let you go here shortly. Thank you for being on my show. You are my first ever guest. Thank you. Well,
hopefully it's not the last.
I hope not.
Okay, perfect.
Is that everyone that is here in this cigar community today, you each have the opportunity to be someone's legacy moment. And I hope that you all realize that, especially you, Fabian, you, Stephen, and you, Bob, because you are personalities in the cigar industry. You each have the opportunity to be someone's legacy moment. And I hope you don't take that lightly, because when you do sit down in a cigar lounge somewhere, that person may or may not know who you are. And I can say, I have met some people in the cigar industry that are bigger personalities, and you walk into a hotel with them and you're standing at the elevator and they don't push the button for you, or they don't hold the door for you to walk through first. Know that that's a moment someone's going to remember. If you sit down in a cigar lounge and the guy next to you has no clue who you are, or they know who you are, you have a moment right there to be someone's legacy moment. And so you guys, what you do is very important in the cigar world. You hold a higher responsibility, but you also hold space for yourself. And that's the next thing that I want you guys to remember, is that this cigar industry exists for you as an individual. And so if you are working or you're doing an event and you are having stressful moments, I hope that each one of you takes time to sit down with someone in that time and space and just be present, because the cigar world is for you to capture those moments of brevity and lightness. And so I just want to encourage you. All right, we are at the time of our show. We have 3 minutes left. Bob and Stephen, have you been keeping up with the spinning wheel of names?
I know you can see the computer.
I can see the computer.
Is my name on the wheel? Because I never win anything at raffle time, so my name better be on the wheel.
Yeah, I put you down first. It's Liverpool's #1 fan, 69.
Yeah, my name should be Sam. Sam. That should be my name on the. Sam Berkson.
All right. So if you have been in the show or you just got here and you have not taken the opportunity to comment, please do so now, because we are at the point where we are about to give away all of Bob and Chief's stuff. All of it.
Yes. And then some.
And you hear no objection from them. So I'm giving it away.
Oh, the duct tape's working.
It is. You just can't see it on your screen. Okay, so last few minutes. Number 1, you have to be here in order to win. You need to be 21. You have to be 21. If you are today's winner, we need you to send your mailing address to rgfinley70@gmail.com. You need to be in the continental United States, or you will pay your own shipping. So just FYI, if you don't live in the continental United States and you can't afford to pay for shipping, you need to let us know. Like, I can't win. So next month's show, Second Saturdays with Sarah. Next month, we celebrate the 4th of July and Independence. So next month's show will be on cigars and independence, cigars as Americana, craftsmanship, and freedom. I am thankful for my freedom, and I am thankful for all of the men who have fought to keep me this way and to give me this. So men, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the cigar community. Thank you for utilizing the cigar world for your own mental health. I encourage it. Mental health matters, and mental health matters for men. So a cigar might not fix everything. It's not going to fix your problems, but the time it creates for you can be healing. Whether you smoke alone at home or with us on a podcast or a video live stream, we want you taking time for connection. It's my hope that you go back and share this show with someone that you think will enjoy lighting one up with us, or will enjoy being with you as you light one up. If you do share the show, please give us a tag or a hashtag. And especially, I came up with one for mental health. Hashtag smoke and support hashtag Second Saturdays with the First Lady, BTCG, all the Bob the Cigar Guy hashtags. And Fabian, is there anything that you want to say as we round out the show and we're about to do our drawing for our winner?
No, good luck to all the people on the wheel. I look forward to getting the information so I can ship the stuff out on Tuesday. And remember, smoke more cigars and make the majority of those cigars be Aganorsa.
All right. There you go. Thank you so much.
And let's
I
flex.
appreciate
Let's all
you.
flex together. There you go. Flex. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There we
Yep.
go.
Hey,
I
thank you very
appreciate
much.
you.
Thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. I got to run. I got lots of people behind me over here waiting for some stories and all that stuff.
Hey, shout out to everybody there. Hey, tell us where you are one more time in case anybody can come catch you today.
I am in the Humidor Cigar Shop on the Hill in Cockeysville, Maryland.
Cockeysville, Maryland.
If you're anywhere close, I'm going to be here till about 5. So
right,
come on down. We got great deals, and I look forward to the next time I get to be on the show, and who knows where I'll be that next time. So thank you very much. Much love to the First Lady. Much love to Stephen, Bob. Lots of love, and thanks for your sour balls there, Bob.
Oh, you stink.
Love you. I got nothing to say.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Fabian. All right, let's get to it. The thing that you
so
guys are here for today.
Here's the thing.
Tell me.
I cannot get the wheel to come up on the screen because
Bob Cigar
does not have his permission set up, and I have to shut down Google Chrome. I'm not going to shut down Google Chrome because we're running on Google Chrome for the show. But I do have everybody's name on the wheel.
I can see the spinning wheel.
All right, and we haven't had anybody new jump. We've had a pretty steady, constant number of people here on the show.
Awesome.
You got up to 18 people at one point. We're sitting at 16 right now. So we do have some reactions over on Facebook. That's Bob, read those off for me.
Facebook love Rick Carroll. Facebook like Michael Zakovic, Sammy Flo, Sherry Ellis, Freeman, and Tyler Garcia.
All right.
Appreciate that. And everybody who liked it over on YouTube, like I say every week on Thursday, I can't see the YouTube stuff. I know you guys are smashing the like button. Appreciate it. Everybody who shared it, also appreciate it. I'm going to read off the names. You do have to be present to win, but we have Banker John, Diana Burns, Cigar Pop, William Ralston, Charles Adamson, Michael Zakovic, Sarah Ralston, Fireborn, Anthony Giannis, Texas Taurus, Peter Giannis, Mac Bergson, Pneumonia, Sammy Flo, who technically can't win because he won last time, and Dan Burns and Chi-Town Cigar Podcast. So I am going to shuffle the names a few times. Shuffle.
Thank you so much for what you do for my show, Stephen. I appreciate you, Chief.
No problem. We've got all the new stuff going on.
I can hear it spinning.
Yeah.
Ding.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to
Banker John.
Congratulations, Banker John. Make sure. Let us know that you're here, please. Banker John, are you here? Just send us a comment right here.
Rick Carroll, I did have your name on there.
Yay. All right, Banker John, are you still here? How much time do we give Banker John to comment?
About a minute.
Okay. All right. Who's counting down our minute? Let me see. I can do that. All right. Let's see. Banker John, if you're here, you need to let us know, because if not, we're gonna redo.
We will redo the wheel.
Here we go. All right. You have a little bit over a minute because I'm just now starting the timer. All right. So in this minute, I want to thank you all for being here. I know that I don't deserve this platform. I didn't earn it. I just take advantage of it. So I want to thank Bob and Stephen for allowing me this time and space on the second Saturdays to get together with you guys, because I really did want to put together a show, number one, where I could give stuff away. I really do enjoy it.
I'm gonna reshuffle this.
But second is to really bring together more people to your industry that you enjoy, so that we all do have a place that is enjoyable and where we can come, sit, smoke. I know that was one of Bob's original taglines for his show was "Come, sit, smoke." And I think that there's a lot of mental health importance in that. So I really want to promote the cigar industry and what you all bring to this world as a mental health help. if you are struggling with any type of mental health issues, and mental health issues are those ones that interfere in your everyday life. If you are struggling, I want to encourage you to reach out. Whether you reach out to a friend and you say, hey, I've been watching this cigar show. Let's go try smoking a cigar at a cigar lounge. Reach out to somebody. Just go sit and take your mind off of whatever it is that seems to really be impactful in that moment. I want to encourage you to reach out to a professional. I do mental health counseling as a job. There are no shortages of ways to reach out to a mental health professional, whether you do it online, you open up a phone book if you actually still have one, or you Google mental health care near me. I want to encourage you to reach out to someone. And not only reach out, but I want to encourage you to follow up. I think the follow up on mental health is where some people struggle. They forget, like, okay, I reached out, and it might feel a relief a little bit, but if you don't follow up, you're really not addressing whatever it is that's going on in your life. And I want to encourage you, mental health professionals are there for you. We're not going to judge you based on what you bring to our office. More often than not, we will have already heard it. It is our job to be a space for you to safely come and say what it is that you're dealing with. So I want to encourage you. All right. It has been over a minute, and I don't think that Baker John has said anything. So let's get to respinning that spin.
We already respun.
Did we already respin?
We respun, and we took Banker John out because he could have possibly won again.
I'm so sorry.
But this time,
John.
congratulations to
Chi-Town.
Chi-Town. All right. Chi-Town. Are you still here? Because listen, if Chi-Town is not still here,
I hope so.
we got a problem. If Chi-Town is not here, okay, so Chi-Town.
I think Chi-Town signed off a long time ago.
Oh,
no. Hey, everybody who's still hanging out with me at the hour 7-minute mark, your chances just got 2 times better. So
he's been removed. Hold on.
All right,
my
so
voice
All
Chi-Town.
right, we're back here.
Chi-Town.
We're gonna come over here. And,
I'm so sorry, Chi-Town and Banker John.
Oh.
Please don't take it personally. We don't. All right.
Dun, dun, dun,
That's still not how you pronounce cigar pop.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Are you still here? Please still be here. Okay, so how do we pronounce cigar pop?
He's saying that the name is not said the way he wants to win.
I get it. That's not how you say the winner. I get it. I got it. Okay. All right.
Pneumonia says, I'm here.
All right.
Hey.
Yay. All right. So pneumonia, not the old monia, but the new.
Finley70@gmail.com. We cannot get you the goods.
Do it for the sake of whatever cigar voice that is out there. All right. Congratulations, pneumonia. I'm so glad that you're still here too.
Finally, I'm just glad we didn't have to keep taking names off of this, and it was just gonna be Mac Berkson on here.
Good deal. Look, Mac could win.
Because Mac's going nowhere.
Mac could win. All right.
Shots fired.
To
Shots fired.
all of you out there, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Men's. We're celebrating All Men's Month. Happy Mental Health Men's Awareness Month. Everything that has to do with men. I'm thankful that you hold space in this world. Thank you for being a part of the cigar industry in whatever capacity you are. Remember that you have the opportunity to be someone's legacy moment. I will see you next month right here, second Saturdays with the First Lady, to give away things. Remember, we are Cigars and Independence. Cigars is Americana, craftsmanship, and freedom.
Hopefully you'll actually do it on the second Saturday next month too.
There should not be any reason I don't.
No, there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be.
So we'll see you all right here on the Bob the Cigar Guy YouTube channel or Bob the Cigar Guy Facebook. Thank you for being here. Thank you, gentlemen. Happy Father's Day, Stephen and Bob. Thank you for being wonderful mentors to the other men around you and for being good fathers. I appreciate you. Love y'all.
Peace.
Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com